If fat loss feels confusing, don't sweat it, I got you. It's not because you're bad at nutrition, it's because you're trying to manage too many things at once. You're trying to optimize everything and you might not be getting anywhere. So let me give you exactly what you need. I promise by the end of this video, you will have a clear understanding and a framework that you can follow for the next 30 days. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Johnny. This is Anatomy Bar, and this is for men who want to get in the best shape of their lives. If you know that you're built for more, you know that you have this hidden potential inside of you, want to reveal it, this is the video that you need to be paying attention to. Nutrition obviously is going to be 70% responsible for how you look, so let's make sure we go through this step by step. There is a 4-step process that I want you guys to implement. And at the end of the 30 days, once you are implementing this, come back to this video and let me know if it worked for you. I appreciate your feedback. Let's get right into it. So step 1, you don't need to have the perfect meal. You need to have controllable meals. I see it all the time. People want to optimize their protein, their carb intake, their insulin, all these other variables, which is great. However, if you just want to drop 10 to 15 pounds and you haven't been, you need to just break it down in a simpler process that you can actually repeat. Consistency is going to be the biggest thing. So what I've found is that a lot of guys don't control the foods that they're putting into their system. They're buying food out all the time. They're not controlling the portions. They're not controlling the sodium or the oil or a lot of these other variables. They're not even aware of the protein that they're intaking. So the main thing that you need is at least 1, 2, maybe 3 meals that you can repeat over the next 30 days that you enjoy. And I guarantee you that by itself will absolutely help you make your fat loss easy and seamless. And so step 2 is prioritize protein first. Then you can worry about everything else after. See, in your fat loss process, you're naturally, if you don't know, going to be in a caloric deficit, but you don't want to necessarily lose a bunch of body fat in the process. So you want to make sure you're at least hitting your macros in terms of the protein intake so that you can sustain the amount of muscle that you have on your frame so that when you do lean out, you actually look bigger. So as your second step, if you prioritize protein, everything else will just naturally kind of come through a little bit easier. And let's go into step 3. I alluded to it earlier, but the same meals, and now we can start to look at different proportions. So once you know from step 2 the amount of protein that you should be intaking, you can now, for step 3, control the quantity of the food that you're intaking. So one big tip that I often give my clients is change from eating out of a bowl or a bucket to like a normal person-sized plate. Oftentimes visually, when you see a larger container, you want to fill it up. And so relative now, you feel like, okay, if I have a big container, I need to eat the whole thing. But if you have a smaller plate, then you fill it up. It's still not, the total volume is much lower than it would be on the other plate. So that's just one little simple trick that you can implement. And so to take it a step further, if you know, for example, your goal is to hit 150 grams of protein, for example, every day. And say you also have a caloric range of about 2,000 calories. And so maybe the protein itself is taking 50 to 70% of the total calories. You can have your carbs and fats take up the rest of the calories, more like 50 to 60% protein. But the point is, once you have the protein dialed in, you can then add on the other things to keep you within your caloric range. That also will 100% guarantee that you get to your caloric goal. And then step 4, this is more like a fail-safe, just in case the other 3 steps don't 100% go as planned. And step 4 is controlling your environment. Because at the end of the day, your environment will overcome your willpower, because what you have in your fridge, you will most likely eat. If you don't have it in your fridge or your pantry or your closet, wherever, under your bed, I don't know where you keep your stuff, you probably won't eat it. So I often at the beginning, whenever a new client joins in, we do like a kitchen audit, right? Depending on their goals, we're like, hey, take me through your kitchen. Let me see what you got. Oh yeah, this, we gotta get rid of it because that stuff is not gonna help your goal, right? Just those little decisions helps reduce the risk of having to deal with willpower. Now, I have a client who has kids and he's like, dude, sometimes you know, I go into my kids' snacks and I'm like, okay. So what we need to do then is get snacks that you won't eat, that your kids will eat. It's really simple. It doesn't have to be anything outrageously challenging or new age, just simple structure that will allow you to inevitably make your goal a reality. Now, funny enough, that same client I actually just spoke to this morning, he's a father of 2 kids, and sometimes he'll drink after work, right? So I'm like, hey, so how many times a week on average would you say you're drinking? He's like, usually Wednesday through Sunday. And I'm like, okay, that's most of the week. So I broke it down like this. I was like, you're probably having, I don't know, 2 full bottles of wine per week on average. Now we look at 52 weeks of the year, you're having 100, 10, 20 bottles of wine over the course of the year. And though he's already losing body fat, I told him your progress would be a lot faster if you weren't consuming all that volume of empty calories and sugar. So we reduced it from Wednesday to Sunday to Friday to Sunday. So that automatically in itself brings it down from maybe 2 bottles a week to maybe 1.5, really 2 and change to 1 and change. And if you look at the volume, the accumulation over the course of the year, he's actually reduced his total consumption of wine almost in half. And so that's going to allow him to see even more progress and results. So sometimes you just got to think about what you're doing today and the compounding effect that it has, and then what little adjustment you can make. It's not always about never having wine, never having rice. Like, carbs are not the enemy. It's really about finding the balance that works for you. And a big thing that I really want you to lean into, and something that I've noticed within a lot of my guys, us men are simple, right? Maybe half of my clients don't even want a lot of variety in their meals. I have one guy who will damn near have the same meal Monday through Friday. Actually, he'll have the same meal Monday through Friday and then change the meal the following week, Monday through Friday. But guess what? It works for him and he's seeing incredible results. Now, to be specific, he has the same breakfast, same lunch, same dinner throughout the week, right? So it's not the same meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So because it's something that he enjoys, it's something that's easy for him to make and make it in batch, he cooks once, maybe twice up during the week, and he's good to go. So listen, if you want structure that works for you without racking your brain and overthinking, this is exactly the type of content that I am pushing out. This is the type of things that I do within Anatomy Bar Coaching. And if you have any questions, just comment down below or check out some of the other videos that could be helpful to you as well. Till next time, let's raise the bar.